want to take you on a little road trip with me. Ready? So let's think about what we have to bring. Some clothes, a toothbrush, maybe a charger or two. While all these are good, every road trip, without fail, I have to bring a box of saltines. See, I get motion sickness on road trips. Oftentimes, I have to physically put my phone down and eat a saltine to quell my stomach. Now let's take a road trip to a small town just outside of Dublin, Ireland, where this seemingly unsuspecting town has managed to do the extraordinary: ban phones. No one, preteen and younger, has a phone at all. Kids are simply kids, collecting coins and playing mermaids, rather than glued to a screen in their free time. The movement, titled "It Takes a Village," was started when the headmaster of the local school realized that technology overuse was unwanted by kids. Creating a phone-free environment closes this gap of comparison, and when no one is scrolling, kids can simply be kids, adults become more present, and suddenly, a community is more connected. Now let's take a road trip to my high school. You enter the student gates, and you'll see students clustered around phones, nothing more than a zombified glaze as they consume the latest social media fad. This was previously my high school. Now, entering the quad, you won't see a single person on their phone. This is because, begrudgingly, 400 high schoolers lock their phones into sealed pouches every morning. The result is friend groups no longer communicating via text to merely inches apart, lunches where students look one another in the eye rather than at their phones, and there's no more collisions in hallways from students staring at TikTok pages. There's a collective alertness and presence. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, Gen Z's average screen time is 9 hours. 9 hours. That's the same amount of time that a K through 12th grader is in school every day, and the average amount of time that the workday lasts. At this rate, my generation is going to spend a third of our lives online. And the truth is, it's not entirely our fault. Companies pour millions of dollars into creating an algorithm that destroys unit bias. Unit bias is that sensation of accomplishment you get from crossing a task off of your to-do list. And this sensation is not invoked when users are on social media, causing them to spend more time online than they intended. Without interference, oftentimes people spend more time online than they bargained for. Unlike me, they aren't ripped away from the trance of social media by a lousy stomach. Social media is designed to keep you online. With millions of videos and an algorithm curating your perfect doom scroll, if you're looking for validation, inspiration, or a good laugh, Instagram's got you, as long as you're willing to pay. The result? Procrastination, with users unable to even recall what occurred during their brain break. People pay to briefly escape life. The infinite scroll is a key feature here, getting rid of a stopping point. Content is constantly fed to you, keeping you online for more time than you bargained for. The creator of the infinite scroll, Azar Raskin, has openly admitted he deeply regrets creating the feature. The creator himself is telling us he wished it never existed. This is costing the world hundreds of thousands of hours every day. And people are not just willingly donating their time. We are conditioned by our environment to want to be entertained. Real life feels dull compared to the constant stimulation of social media. People are being forced to choose between sweet, sugary dopamine and doing the laundry. Now, I have grown up as an iPad kid, turned what many would call a screenager, with an average screen time around 4 hours. But many of you in the audience have not had this same experience and have witnessed technology evolve from bag phones to iPhones. However, the reality is, no matter the generation, technology is taking over, and we are letting it. We are more often than not finding ourselves in front of a screen, whether it's a tablet, laptop, iPhone, or television. Overconsumption has risen to an all-time high, and the normalization of being online all the time is reinforcing this. It's affecting more than how we spend our time. It's shaping who we become, dependent on outsourced fulfillment. I'm no stranger to this. When life feels like it has sucker punched you in the gut and all you want to do is escape, technology becomes an easy fix. It's the drug no one warns you about. The best example of this is right after exams, when I will simply sit on my couch and rot. I'm talking about sitting without moving to the point where when I get up, there's a Gracen-shaped hole where I was sitting. And the show you're watching is concerned with how long you've been watching, asking you if you want to continue. It's moments like these where I wish I had my Saltines to remind me that going on a walk is better than turning into a rock. The inverse of this is social media, when it creates the illusion of perfection, exposing individuals to curated versions of others' lives. And people are beginning to spend more time looking at others' lives than living their own. There's a constant comparing and contrasting of what everyone else is doing rather than being present in our own lives. One day, I was baking for my best friend's birthday party, and now anyone who's had an eclair can attest to their deliciousness, but their difficulty should not be underestimated. On this particular Saturday, I happened to not entirely be focused, and I underbaked the first batch, overbaked the second batch, and finally got it right on my third batch after putting my phone down and giving them the attention that they deserved. High-frequency users of social media are more likely to develop symptoms associated with ADHD, specifically a reduction in attention span. Increased time spent on screens during developmental years correlates with weaker executive function development. Now, executive function development controls impulse regulation, focus, and decision-making. When this development is disrupted, it becomes harder for users to resist social media, according to the National Institute of Health. This creates a cycle. Users stay online, ignoring friends, family, and reality, and as more people stay online, it becomes harder for everyone else to get offline. Here's where the problem shifts from individual to collective. We are stuck waiting for someone else to get offline before we take action ourselves. I personally began noticing these patterns in my own life. My screen time at its worst was 16 hours in a day, and now not all on one device, whether it was listening to music, watching a movie, or simply being on my laptop. I tried installing apps onto my phone in attempts to reduce my screen time. I tried built-in screen time settings, as well as applications designed to block usage. But I discovered something important. Screen time management alone is not the best solution, because it is easily overridden. Where there is a will, there's a workaround. Instead, we need to change how we approach this problem and physically disconnect from being online. Learning to appreciate the life around you versus on the screen in front of you allows you to connect with neighbors when you go on walks, or realize your friend's having a bad day and cheering them up. It's learning to appreciate that living is offline. There are several ways people can take control of their technology use. One simple solution is creating a screen time limit with a password. This creates another barrier when you want to access those entertainment apps, like social media, during those moments of weakness. Another solution is downloading an app that blocks usage after a certain number of openings per day. There are many free tools available that can help with this. Finally, the most simple and effective solution is creating a physical barrier between you and your device. My school implemented magnetically locking pouches that prevent phone use during class. But even something simple as putting your phone in another room can create the same effect. Implementing even one of these strategies forces you to live more presently. And when people are not constantly reaching for their phone, they begin to appreciate the life around them versus on the screen in front of them. We are all inadvertently destroying our creativity, critical thinking, and communication skills through media overuse. If we continue down this path, we risk losing the ability to solve problems, think critically, and connect meaningfully with others. Technology itself is not bad, but unregulated use is. We must reclaim boredom, struggle, and independent thought without relying on social media for inspiration or algorithms for answers. In such a digital age, learning to disconnect is essential. When we learn to be offline, we rediscover the simple joys that cannot be found on a screen. So I ask you to make one small change. Find your saltines. Find your reason to get offline. Put your phone down for a moment and look around. Rediscover the world that exists beyond the algorithm. Because shaping the future does not start online. It starts with the choices you make about living your life today.